Hi, all associates of the quantum realm. Enjoy your day. Continue to go about your business as far as like what your subconscious would rather continue be doing. And have a conversation with me just in the meantime about the potential options that your subconscious can carry through, like in your daily aspects beyond the ability of your own choices. We've made contracts and deals within the mind that can sometimes even like contradict the decisions that we would like to play out. So it's like you want one thing, your subconscious is going to pretend to do something else. Um, because of fear, expectation, promise, the guides that like lead them tend to associate you with your relationships. So like there's no commitment for your subconscious. This isn't going to be a reading for your subconscious. This is the subconscious will be able to experience itself while you're listening and pertaining to the conversation, but it's a very presential manifestation of information that I'm going to be giving you. Lots of like information to get started with, to just say like hi. That's about it. But so soul food, what we need for the soul. Okay. To get started, the cards are done shuffling. And we are moving into, whoops, hold on. I know, I gotta lay the cards out, get everything established. Okay, so I have our serving, and it will be presented with a Venus aspect of the Venetian Tarot. I think not. I think we're going to go with what is on top. Our Chariot is the card. That is our meal. And what I mean by that is what is connecting us with the characteristics of the subconscious that are associated with the panel I've created. Hi, how are you? Let's get started with the fact that the eggs be it's time and associate with each other. There is just the fact that I've been having like visions of eggs rolling of huge size of across streets, and like these are more or less not spirit animals, but identities of the soul that like our subconscious has an outlet to express itself through. The story of Humpty Dumpty is relevant to the conversation. Many of us have that characteristic of the soul because it's like we want to have all of the associations that come with the egg made available to us. But the aspect that we want to contribute to the conversation is a facial record of the expression we want our consciousness to be able to exert, like a fire information. Strength is in the eternal flame aspect of the chart. So like I just think like the strength that's been like presented here is the fact that we have options available to contribute to conversations of um, our personified communications with each other. Not very verbal, but facial recognition and um, like com- conversations around like it's like miming because there aren't a lot of words associated with this aspect. It's like this realm has been pushed into a corner. What aspect is this? Death. Okay. The Five of Hedgehogs. Um, Pushed into a corner as far as like what the general consensus of the subconscious is that this this aspected realm of creativity is abandoned with the is abandoned with the repertoire of like socializing. We're kind of become like individuals as people who can represent themselves. Oh my god, the snake. Seven of Spears. We like to associate, like, okay. What's associated with, like, cooking and commonality of this form is that you're going through, like, a physical change rather than a chemical change. It's hard to unbake a cake or unmix the drink that has been made. So once our souls combine to like associate itself with a party that it wants to achieve like mutual satisfaction with the other in, like sometimes it's hard to undo that action. Um the Page of Teacups. Um, as far as love goes, there's lots of learning in the practice involved. Stepping into like self love as the habitual insertion that like you've had frustrations in the past to demand recognition for what your the opportunity you have to create is to be made available to you. With the Three of Teacups, like, and this is all associated with the egg. Like, this is the conversation that the egg has needed to have because it's such a dominating ingredient, not only by the resource that it is, but just with what we have socially acclimated to in the realm that we've allowed it to get away with things. Like right now, in terms of the inflated asset of the market, there's a huge price around the hard boiled egg. In the spirit realm, hard boiled egg is impersonating like Humpty Dumpty as a um, way to like intimidate the conscious of the story, you know, like these people showing a fact that they're not going to be made a fool of themselves in the decisions that they make. And that's why, like, with the Page of Teacups, I associated it with self-love. There's no one here. People aren't getting the chance to learn how to put you back together again when you fall apart. You're not, like, in terms of the ability for, like, other people who are this cat, like, the love they want to give is not, like, accessible in their activities in this realm currently, as far as, like, eggs are concerned. Like, eggs kind of, like, want to dominate just because it's like there's this continuing conversation around the aspect that Chariot is working against itself here. Like, the social conception of the fact that, like, we're all so sensitive to things and information that contradict aspect of our foundations according to the relationships that we've cultivated those foundations on, or your desire to see the fulfillment of dreams that you have invested so much in subconsciously that you almost experience instability, and say to the conversation, I was a hard-boiled egg the whole time. I didn't fall. I didn't hurt myself. Nothing happened. You can't change what I've made. Like, this Seven of Swords is talking about just the past, trying to manipulate the currency of conversation in correspondence with other consciousness. So, like, your past is trying to make itself a spell, but it's like you're the one calling the name and being like, this is who I am. Like, but that's the story of Humpty Dumpty. Wasn't he like, anyway, like, this is who I am. I had a foundation to stand upon, but you're unwilling to, like, intermediate with the aspect that, like, your own step, like your own footstep, will teeter and totter to a point where, like, you end up hurting yourself. And there are, like, I think the problem of the conversation is, and that's why in mythology we have the Three of Cups, like, there's this illusion of the fact that we're all, like, having an enjoyable experience with this story in the spirit realm right now, because it's like, oh, that's part of the story and you have plenty of people. It's like time has kind of been forced to a stop after the fact that, like, the hard-boiled egg remains to be the hard-boiled egg and the broken egg remains to be the like, broken egg. And, like, there's a state of, like, conversation where let's see, in the shadow we have the Four of Flowers. Four flowers, I believe, are the wands. So it's like, this sense of the room is the consensus of the ones who have structural power to maintain themselves in wholeness, as far as, like, the story of Humpty Dumpty goes, to the point where they never break. there are habitual practices that are working in their favor in language of facial recognition and association to etiquette and um, our like recognition to like the social acclamation of the room. Um, and it's like in some sections we're robbing people of their power and claiming it to be your strength that gave you that ability. Like, it's just a bully. Like, the egg is being a bully right now. So, in the realm of ice, the King of Spears is holding, like, an acute conversation, forgoing, like, the responsibilities of um, the dreams and wishes of the people in power. As ICE is concerned, ICE is considerate of pretty much all time at a consistent moment. It understands the kaleidoscope and the fraying of the conversation, and they know like when a conversation that's been consistent has been consistent because of a abuse of power. King of Spears like holding a moment of record to maintain um his established um title to be upheld in the arena that he's a part of. Um this is not about hierarchy. I know he's the King of Spears, but in this deck, especially this deck, like this is a guy who's willing to um coordinate and like appear in all like random aspects of conversation where his relevance isn't of like import to the conversation. Sometimes he could be like a shapeshifter, Page of Teacups, someone who can make impersonations just to see how you respond to a familiar like word or environment. Like you've presented yourself to be this person who maintains consistency when he's himself, but when he becomes something else, like let's say like Humpty Dumpty for instance, like he sees how you would forget about yourself and um change or compromise your behavior. The Five of Hedgehogs in Death just talk about like self fulfillment in like what is it called? Yeah, just pretty much like self fulfillment. Like as far as Humpty Dumpty's concerned at the moment, I'm not gonna try and think of other conversations to have. Um, I think the Chariot like is continuing to work in the hard boiled aspect of the world. Like I've seen soft boiled eggs that cannot be like popped, and it's kind of like a false illusion, an impersonation of protection that's been like assigned and assimilated to the spirit that is involved, and it can't be like it can't be independent for itself. Like, it's almost like you're being protected against your own corrupt behavior, like your own um mistakes that you make. As far as Humpty Dumpty's concerned, like the mistakes you make, people continue to make concessions for you, and there's this myth of a conversation of happiness surrounding like you getting away with these things over and over again. um now the shadows working against me here. um like I've been that like roommate in the past where like I continue to just not do the things I'm supposed to do, and like I have to continue to make apologies. And but it's like, what is the issue of like the pertinent moment was the fact, back to the conversation, not my past. You've got that like stumbling with like your own consciousness in strength. People continue to make concessions for your aspected nature because it's compromisable behavior. And um it's like, what I'm trying to talk about is the fact that like you aren't even making a conscious memory of it. It's like you make this mistake for the hard boiled egg. Like, this is what the soft boiled egg is right now. Like, you are regarding the room as a consistent like foundational, like I'm thinking about an image of like hell freezing over and you walking on the ice. Like, um it's like, and you're not like, you're walking on the ice and the ice knows you're there. Like, and so like you can continue to pretend as if like you above like the subconscious have no recollection of the mistake that you've carried out. um but like there's no process of like the repentance necessary to be forgiven of those mistakes. Like, it's just one of those like unforeseeable tallies that have been placed against you that like contribute to all the mistakes that like your subconscious is making in the process. Like, yeah. um it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. The eternal flame needs to like recognize that its stability is like forgettable. Like, we aren't in the context that we're in forever, especially in the subconscious. We're constantly making new relationships and meeting new things, and like forcing to see eyes that like aren't a contributing factor to a relevant aspect of our soul, as far as our mind, like our conscious coexistence exists as. Like, your subconscious probably meets people that know they're talking to you, but you have absolutely no idea that they're there. Like, um, going back to the King of Spears, but this isn't the King of Spears doing this here. This isn't about the ice. This is about South and the eternal flame. It's this impersonation that other aspects of your relationships are able to do to get away from you. And then, like, they have to remember that when they come back to talk to you because, like, they spent time away from you that they've never seen you a part of. And now it's like they're talking to someone they've never met before. Like, you're a complete stranger to them. Um, so, like, and I met some hard boiled eggs. Like, they have made the commitment to other people and formed against, like, even. Like, they're not doing what's even relevant to, like, the sake of your life. Mythology, Three of Cups, like, what's relevant to you isn't important to your subconscious even sometimes, to an extent where you don't, like, realize that your subconscious is wasting time on, it's like a gambling thing, like, and the thing is, and what is even an aspect of this realm, like, when you're experiencing a world where gambling is a function and there's a process of impersonation to the room to make you forget that you're there, or kind of make you more tactile and um, like invested in what you're doing to a point that you have a miscommunication with the people that you are, like, supposed to be remembering. And that's the problem here. Like, your subconscious exhibits, like, and enters the chariot that works against you, and you end up becoming the hard-boiled egg that, like, forces your family to almost have to figure out how it can reverse the process. Like, this is something your soul has to do on its own and temper itself. They can't continue to do the tempering for you. That's my big, like, advice to the conversation is see how you are, like, becoming absent in the process of what your life is supposed to be doing. Um Now that's all I have for this serving. Um Maintain the possibility that, like, you'll understand the mythology that we want to convince ourselves that we're a part of this celebration sometimes, to a point where we literally, like, bet our way into um, confusion and end up getting lost. Um, with that, that is my prayer. I hope you guys have a fantastic meal, have everything that you need. Consider the hard boiled egg from the conversation. All right, take care and be well. Bye.